Hello, more on remote managing. And this time, the exit strategy or not. Many companies are now thinking about planning. At least it's on your mind. Where do we go from here? Is it time to revert back to normal, or is home working going to be the norm? And I want to share with you 5 key actions that I believe every organization should consider. I'm sure there'll be more, and there'll be other considerations that you might want to throw into the equation. But these are my thoughts on this. But before I do, just some thoughts on where I've seen home working and remote working work and fail. I've seen it well. I have a company I'm working with right now where some of their workers already work at the nearest office, and they do some time at home as well, rather than traveling miles to the head office or the central office, or even to the office that is more related to their business, to what they do. But it belongs to the company, so there's an office there that they can base themselves. I've worked with organizations where home workers working has worked quite well, and I've worked in organizations where it's not worked so well, and a couple of reasons. One is the wrong people for the wrong reasons. People who thought it would solve their child minding problems, and it didn't. People who really wanted to be out of sight of management. We need the right people in home working. Sometimes good people got into home working, but then enjoyed it so much, but also they lost that thirst and that desire to be with other people. So when they were needed to be part of a team and come into the office, they objected to it, and that the team spirit was lost. So there's no right or wrong to this, and I believe it's really important for organizations to start considering these things. And these are my 5 considerations. Here is the first one, and this I look at when I'm facilitating any change management program. One of the first things we've got to look at is, where actually do we want to be? Right now, given all that we've been through, where do we need to be going from here? I think that's a must. Forget home working or remote, whatever we want to do, or back at work. Where does this business need to be going? What do we want to be doing? Secondly, number 2, to get where we want to be, what kind of structure and culture do we want? And as we do that, we might also consider what kind of structure and culture do we have right now. The third consideration is, if that's the culture and the structure that we're looking to, how do we get there? And as we consider that one, that's when we really do need to also begin to explore what's been going on in recent days. How has home working and remote working worked? What have been the advantages? What have been the disadvantages? And then with all of that information, because now what we do have is a lot more information than we've had before about remote working. And yes, there are benefits to the environment, to our cash, because it costs, etc., for office space and travel, all these kind of things, and to people for their morale, for flexibility. So there's some downsides and there's some upsides. We need to consider those. And now that we have considered them, what is our action plan to achieve that moving forward and achieve our goals and our objectives, and at the same time develop the culture that we want in our organization? So as we do those things, as we start that action plan, what we need to do next then is look at the people within our organization. What's happening now? Who will fit best where? I've done this many, many times with organizations where there's been a necessity for change. And we start right from the beginning. And we look at it in an ideal world, what would things look like? And then, okay, all the people may not fit exactly where we'd like them to be. But at least by doing it, we can get the right people as best we can in the right places and make steps for a gradual change where it isn't working. We don't have to make people suffer. We don't necessarily have to make redundancies, although you know better than me, that can never be ruled out. So once we've done that, we now implement our action plan. And as part of that, what I want to say is we do then need to consult with people. And in fairness, I've put consultation right at the end. It may be you start consultation earlier, But it may be you want to talk it through with your senior management team first and then consult, or partway through you want to consult so that you can tweak as you're planning and moving along. But talking to the people is so important. Now, you know that as well as I know it. So they are my thoughts. Now, here's another thought alongside all of these things. I've done many away days with managers, and I think this is a time to be considering away days. And often facilitators like myself will go for an away day or a weekend, and we'll look out the goals for the next year, or sometimes how we're going to manage ourselves through certain changes. And we'll use the similar kind of model to the one I've just described to you. And one of the things I would say is, as we think about moving forward, I think it's worth senior management teams taking some time out with an external facilitator. And I say that because if the person is not detached from what you're doing, then you won't get any challenging assumptions and directing where you need to be going. And what we may do is have some people shrinking back from saying what they really feel because they don't want to be the one that stands out or to be different, or they don't want to argue with managing director or something like that. But a good external facilitator who's willing to challenge assumptions, make sure everybody speaks, and make sure everything is covered and all stones are unturned, and helps you plan your way forward through facilitation. And I really think that is the way forward with these 5 things. So here we go as a reminder. Plan where you're going. What is your plan? Where does the organization need to be right now? That's number 1. Number 2, what kind of structure and culture do you need for that plan to make it happen? Number 3, start action planning how you will actually do that now. How will you achieve your goals and objectives and the structure you're looking forward to? Number 4, implement it. And number 5, consult with people. The order may change and you may throw in other actions that I've not mentioned, but I hope it's helped you think it through. Good luck. I'd love to help you if I can, but whatever you do, I'd love to know how you get on, because I think these things are really worth sharing to help other people. So do keep in touch. All the best.